Hello, 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 girlfriends. It is that time. It is that time. How about that? This is Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling with Angela Jordan Perry. I am your host. And tonight it is time for our interview with a special guest. Let's get her on. I hope you all are having a great day today. My day kind of started a little slower than normal. I think I'm still getting over all my travel from this weekend. Hey, Maralis. And so, anywho, it was just, I was just a little bit tired I'm still getting over it. I shouldn't want to say a hangover, but it's not a hangover. It's just being tired from traveling. So let me get our guest on here. Alrighty. All right. Let us know where you're viewing us from and, how you all doing today. How was your homeschooling day? Anyone's off and done? And hi, Maralis. Hi there.
Hi.
Yay. I'm going to go ahead and share it. Tell you in just a few seconds when I've done so. Are you ready? Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully we haven't lost her already. Hello, Maralis. Are you there? Hi, Mora. Alisa. Let's see. Hopefully we have not lost her. Hi, Casey. We did lose her. Okay, so let's see if she'll come back in a quick few moments. All right. Let's see if we can get her back. Hope you all had a great day today and all is well in your neck of the woods. It's going to be a great interview. We have Maralis Rivera with us. Yes, is everything okay over there?
We're good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yes, if you have put your phone, I think I've mentioned that, to put your phone on standby or do not disturb or anything like that. But yeah, I have already shared it. So you're all good to share to where you like to share it.
Yes.
And let me know when you have. Yay, Casey, good to see you on here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so let us know where you're viewing us from, and I'll give you a shout out. And if you have any specific questions for Maralis, then I will ask her those questions if we have time. So you all, very good, dialogue back and forth. So if you have questions or want to know something specific, just let us know, and I will ask her.
All right.
Yep, all set?
Yep.
All right, very good. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. I am turned up for today's interview. Woo! This is a special guest out of South Carolina. Her name is Maralis Rivera, and I have heard today. We scheduled this months ago, and so we are making it happen. So if you're seeing us, hi Yaritza, if you're seeing us in your news feed and you're like, who are these women and what's going on? Yay! And what's going on? Let me tell you, this is Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. And again, I'm Angela Jordan Perry. I'm the host of this show. And this show here is to provide voice to the homeschooling African diaspora and those who are marginalized homeschoolers. So this is to share their successes, their triumphs, their challenges, their great days, their bad days, their best processes of homeschooling, whatever is on their hearts to share for encouragement. The other thing is to build a village. So this is the other part. We're building a village, and we have now extended this village out into South Carolina with the Rivera family. Yay! So hopefully I have my windows open, so you may hear my chickens crowing, my goats making all kind of noise, my kids out there running around in the pasture. So hopefully it's not too loud. But anyway, it's okay.
Yeah.
I am Angela Jordan Perry. I'm the host of this show. I am married now for 26 years to my husband, a mom of 8 children, in which I've been homeschooling. Now we've graduated 3, and we have 5 more to go. And my number 4th one talking to me today about graduating early. How about that? So now I have to start thinking about college for her sooner than later. She's 14. She's ready to get done. So, but anyway, homeschooling mom. We make our home in the northwest part of South Carolina, where we are self-sustaining farmers, okay? I also am an Option 3 Accountability Association director here in the state. So I give rights for homeschoolers to homeschool legally in the state. So my purpose-driven life is to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers worldwide. And I do that in part serving here in South Carolina and reaching you all over the place. So I'm excited to do that. So that's enough about me. Yay! We are here for our interview. Yes, so Maralis, are you ready to make it happen?
I am ready.
Yes, very good. So, girlfriends, let me tell you just a bit about Maralis Rivera. She is a 33-year-old wife to Jose for 17 years. Together, they have 3 beautiful children, Isaiah, who's just turned 11, Isabella, who is 8, and Isaac, who's about to be 6 years old in September. The Rivera family is originally from Florida, but moved to the upstate of South Carolina in 2011. Maralis is a brand new homeschooling mama as of this year, you all, 2017, 2018. She is teaching 5th grade and 2nd grade, and just started teaching her youngest, who's soon to be 5, preschool, okay? They are firm believers in the power of family and being God-centered, believing in his ways and thoughts and being that are higher than their own. So this is beautiful. So again, Maralis, I have just told the girlfriend just a little bit about you, just a little bit. So share more about yourself, Maralis, and how did you get started on this journey to homeschooling?
All right. Well, it was quite interesting. I think when you told me to write a bio, I was going to put it in there, God got jokes, because it's always felt like that. Like we make plans and we think we're, certain we're going to go this way. And all of a sudden, it's just a little nudging that he does. And for us, me and my husband, first of all, we met in high school. We got married young. I was 18 when I got married. He was 21. We knew that, we were serving the Lord together. We were growing on him. And then all of a sudden, we met each other and we just knew. And we got married young. We held off to have babies for 5 years, and had 2 of the babies in Florida, and then got another little joke from God saying, hey, I want you to move to South Carolina. I'm like, okay. So not knowing anybody, not having any family over there, we just knew that it was a God thing. And we came actually for a marriage retreat that they were having over here in a local church. And once we came, just confirmation after confirmation, and we knew we had to be here. And then we came back to Florida, and 6 months later we moved. Being a crazy move because nobody understood it. We came here, and then just a few months in, and we had our third baby here, and in South Carolina, and it was good. I mean, they went to public school. It was a new chapter in our life. Everything was fresh. Everything was new. And then just little by little, just the nudge, I think, me always dreading my oldest going to middle school, I guess, and thinking, oh yeah, well, by that time, I'm sure I'm going to be homeschooling. And it was always made of a joke. But then this past year, just getting stronger and stronger, that nudge. And I'm thinking, well, there's no way. How do I even start? How do I begin? I don't know anybody. Being that in Florida, it wasn't something that was very supported, I guess, by the time, we were even thinking about kids and stuff. And here, little by little, we started meeting families at our local church that were already doing this homeschool thing. And then they were much more susceptible to it, much more supportive towards it. And I just frankly sat down with a couple girlfriends of mine and said, hey, I know you do the homeschool thing. I need to sit down and just watch what you do because I'm thinking I'm going to go that route, but I'm not sure how. And they were gracious enough and they let me sit through their classes and, very different. Everybody has a different way of doing it, which I loved that fact. But it also was a little scary because it was like, being option 3, it was liberty, but at the same time, oh my gosh, like this overwhelming, now I have to do it. So, but I'm telling you, all those fears and all those anxieties, when we took the plunge and we actually just said, we said, okay, well, by this year we're going to start. And I bought my curriculum and I just started doing it. I felt so good. It was so, um, I don't want to say easy because it wasn't easy, but it just felt right. So here we are, and we're counting down the days till summer because that's
So,
that's definitely on their minds.
yeah,
Yeah, we got like 30 something left, but it's been a really good year. It's just been something that I'm so grateful that I obeyed and I just did it.
good
So
deal.
here
So,
we are.
so that's my first question. How, you said this first year, how did it go? I mean, you got your curriculum, you started the process. Was there any time in this year so far where you're like, what am I doing? I can't do this. What have I got myself into? Have you had that moment at all?
Well, it's funny because in the beginning it was very just trying to reconnect with your own kids, trying to figure out, okay, how do they learn, um, and versus how do I, not get so overwhelmed with everything, but just take it little bits and pieces at a time. It's funny because when I got into this, I kind of thought in my head, okay, well, my fifth grader, he is so he learns a certain way. Like he's so, he'll do mental math and he'll do something like you just tell him, and in his mind, he'll just do it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, he's going to be so much more advanced. And then I'm thinking in my daughter, who's in second grade, I thought, well, for sure, she's going to be the one that's going to be, wanting to hold my hand and wanting to walk through it. And when I started, honestly, that was not the case. I mean, my son would just get distracted and look at the wall, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then my daughter, she was like, okay, I'm done. And it was like 11, and okay, all right, what do we do it was just so different and such a breath of fresh air because that just showed me not everybody learns different, learns the same, and how to have grace with all of them. My 5-year-old, which is funny, I'll give him like little workbooks and ABCs, one, two, threes, while I'm doing school for both of them. And he's at a different pace. He does not want to sit through the whole thing. So I got to do like 1 or 2 pages with him and then he's done. And then he'll make sure to rub it in the faces of his brother and sister like, ha, I'm done. Bye. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay. So it's a funny dynamic, but it works for us. It's something that we're still learning. I always like check with them and make sure, hey, is there something that I could be doing that's better, or can I, you know, check me, let me know. Is there something you want me to explain? Do you miss, public school? Is there something? And they're always very good to tell me, man, no, I love this. I enjoy this time with you. And, um, expectation versus reality is very different. And I can say that that's been a learning curve, but at the same time, it's been okay. It's been really good.
That's very good. I mean, and right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, for this to have been your first year, you've already dropped quite a few nuggets. I don't know if you realize that just in the wisdom what you're saying. Number one, recognize that your children learn differently. Number
Yeah.
two, you said you started off with saying, hey, can I go and just look at what you do and just observe your day
Yeah.
so I can grab something? Girlfriends, that's huge. Just to go and just
Yeah.
kind of look at what you're doing. But then you said, but realizing everyone does it differently. And so that gave
Yeah.
you freedom to choose your different, what that was going to look like for
Yes.
you. So that's
Mhm.
huge. And then next you said expectation versus reality. So
Yeah.
Maralis, it sounds like you, although you've been homeschooling for a year, it's like do. Some people don't even, we don't get that until have homeschool, many years, many years.
Yeah,
So, uh,
yeah.
do you have an ongoing mentor who's working with you through your homeschooling journey, or is it just God, you called me, and so God, you're going to teach me? I mean, how did you come up with where you are and sounding so confident? This first year has been great.
No, it's nothing but Jesus. I'm telling you, it's my daily dose of Jesus. But at the same time, it's learning that there have been people that have already walked this route, and I got to give a shout out to my friend Mackenzie Georgia and Amy Savage, just homeschooling mamas that I cling to in the very beginning, and I said, hey, what are you doing? Uh, Show me how to do it. What's your calendar look like? And they were gracious enough to walk through this with me. And they said, okay, this is what I did. And this is what I wish somebody told me. And this is what I wish I knew before I started. And till this day, I'll still call and I'll still be like, hey, can you, how do I grade? How do I do this? And they're very, I'm telling you, they're very gracious to me. And God's, God's allowed me to have those relationships here, which again, South Carolina to me is very welcoming to this whole homeschooling thing. I mean, everywhere you look, you find that. Oh, most likely you'll run into somebody who was homeschooled or who is homeschooling, or like yourself, 8 children in and you're home. Like, that's big. And I love that. I love the fact that, the more and more you see it, the more comfortable you feel in it, and you feel like you're not doing it alone. So
Yeah.
definitely, it has been my peers for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. So while you haven't had any days, I guess maybe, have you had any days where you just want to pull your hair out like,
Girl, I think
okay,
it's funny because I think I have there has been some threats to drop them off at the local public school just to make sure that
okay,
they're staying on task. So I'm like,
okay,
I use that against them. That's my That's in my Calvary. I make sure I say, hey, you don't want to wake up today? Okay, well, I can drop you off tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. at a bus stop. Okay, so believe me, it works. But other than that, they're cool. I mean, honestly, what I was saying about reality versus expectation, brand new starting in it, I'm thinking, okay, well, we're going to begin at 9 o'clock and we're going to do this and that and that. And I had a list going on in my head, and thinking, okay, this is the way it has to be. And I honestly want to thank you for sure, because you making these little interviews and talking to other homeschooling moms also gives you an insight of what to apply and what not to apply, and how, it's okay not to be so drill sergeant, and it's okay to have some order and some structure. So I appreciate you doing these things, because I think it's very, very needed. And just being able to just hear other moms and say, hey, it's okay if you don't get this right, or if it's okay, and I loved that. That's what I mean, I was on there all the time, but knowing that it's okay just to make, the whole purpose of that homeschooling is that you get to teach your children in their pace, but there's no restrictions. There's a freedom to it. Um, you know, there's such a flexibility with it, but making sure that they're learning, making sure that they're going through the curriculum, that's beneficial to me. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much for that.
pleasure, my pleasure. This is doing exactly what it needs to do. Very good to hear. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. So tell us, conversely to that day where you were threatening them, like, I'm taking you back to the bus stop, keep it up, you're on a bus stop journey. And
Hmm.
conversely to one of those days, tell us your most memorable day, Maralis, that you've had so far this year, your first year of schooling, that you're like, this is exactly, I'm so glad I obeyed,
Yeah.
and it what I felt to do. This right here is worth it. Take us to that
Yeah.
day, Morales.
It's the small things, Angela. I gotta say, me and my husband, we were venturing out and having our own business on the side, and we are able to travel and able to do things that are not very conducive to a public school schedule. I know that that was a very big determining factor last year when they were in school, that we would take these business trips, and, they only allot you about, a certain number of days to miss without you feeling like you have to, take them back and review and just catch up and train, all that, not to count snow days, not to count sick days. And it felt like, man, I would love for the freedom and the flexibility of being able to know, okay, I know that you're learning this stuff, but at the same time be free in our family. Family is big to us, like I said, and we're working for that freedom. And we don't want necessarily to be restricted to someone else's schedule and someone else's time and someone else's, oh, well, you have to be at this, although all that is part of responsibility, and we want them to learn that. That's not something that we're going to take away from them. But we also want them to know that, hey, if you're waking up, if you're rested, if your body said, okay, that's cool, then I want you to learn when you're ready to learn, not when I'm forcing you out of bed, because we have to get done. If my schedule is clear, come on, let's start school at 12. It's okay. As long as you're learning, as long as I have everything in order, we're good. Some other days, we have dentist appointments or doctor's appointments. I take school on the road, and they're able to go with it. And I love that. I love that flexibility to be able to say, I know that I'm being mother hen. I'm making sure my little chickens are okay, my little chicks. But at the same time, I know that I can continue living life without that restriction. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, all of you girlfriends who are just turning in and you're again seeing us in your news feed and just wonder what this is. This is Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. And today we're interviewing Maralis Rivera out of South Carolina. Woo-hoo! She's a member of my homeschool association that I've had the pleasure of serving this year, her first year of homeschooling. She's homeschooling three beautiful children, fifth grade, what is it, second grade, and a third grade? Third grade? Second grade.
Fifth grade, second grade, and pre-K.
And pre-K, yeah. So this is her first year, and she just, I can't be even more prouder just to hear this. I'm really just blown away to hear her testimony so far and what she's doing, and she's just so laid back about it and just don't sound very anal. I mean, that's huge for a first year. So, I mean, that's huge. I remember my first year. No, I was very anal. But so let's go to the part of the show, Maralis, where these are questions just to pick your brain. You can give quick answers, short, a couple of sentences there. The first one generally takes a little bit long just to explain it, but the rest, short answers, okay? So what is your favorite quote or mantra that you use almost every day to get you through this homeschooling journey so far, Maralis?
Oh my goodness. Like I said in the beginning, I said with everything that I think we walk, God got jokes. And with all respect and with love, just to know that God does have a sense of humor. Sometimes we think it has to be a certain way, and then all of a sudden, there's a chicken wing all of a sudden, and you're like, oh, I didn't expect this. I didn't plan for this. I didn't see this in my future. And then here goes God and makes you smile. But in the background of it, it's all good. It's all going to work out.
Yes, yes, all the time, right? He does that all the time. Keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
And keep our eyes on him. So do you plan to homeschool all the way through homeschool? I mean, I'm sorry,
that's a very
high school graduation?
Yeah, that's interesting. When I started this journey, I never thought, I just said, okay, well, I'll just go wherever you want us to go. I can't see that far ahead, but I am willing now that I see all the benefits of it. Why not? Unless he leads me otherwise, but for sure, why not?
Very good. What is something, I mean, although this is your first year and I'm sure you're still maybe figuring things out, is there anything that's unique to the Rivera homeschool that you're like, this is something that we do, maybe other families don't do, something that you've all created as your own?
Yes. I laugh because my kids are very special. There is a moment, and my kids are clowns and they make me laugh and they're so cool. But there is a moment where I do see frustration, either in my daughter that she doesn't get something, and she's very visual. So if she reads something and she doesn't understand it, she'll she'll break down, and instead of just me explaining and trying to, and then I get frustrated, I've noticed that she just shuts down. And my son, who's 11, actually came up with this little dance that they do. When they notice that there's like tension in the air or there's frustration in the air, they'll just say, it's hug time. And they'll, my son and my both, I have a 11-year-old son and a 5-year-old son, 8-year-old daughter, and they'll both, whoever is the frustrated, party, will get the hug time dance, and they'll hug them, and then they'll do this other little dance, and then they'll run around, and then they'll sing a song, and it snaps them out of that frustrated moment. And it works as well as with them and each other, as well as me. I'll sometimes be grading something, or I'll be frustrated, and they'll just bust out, it's hug time. And it just puts a smile on your face, and you can't help but to move on. So yeah. I think that has been a very cool thing that has developed over this year.
That's cute. That's really cute. What curriculum or book that you have in your library, Maralis, that you feel like every homeschool should have this curriculum or resource or what have you in their home as well?
Okay. Again, I am baby fresh new out of this whole curriculum thing. I honestly, when I started, I needed something tangible. I couldn't necessarily throw them into the virtual world yet, because I just did not, if I can't see it, I don't know. So I opted to go with like a workbook-based curriculum. And my girlfriend was doing her schooling from Light Units, and what is it? It's Christian Light Education. They have a whole, system, a whole program. And honestly, when I looked at that, I was sold. It has all the quizzes, all the tests, everything is in a booklet. I can just grab and go. There's no loose pages. I can't do it with all that stuff. I'd rather just have something that's easy, that I can grab. The teacher workbooks are amazing to me. It's something just, to me, that has worked well. And I mean, I don't know if I'm going to keep, continue using it, but if it's not broke, I don't know why I should fix it. It's been awesome. It's been very good.
Okay. Is there a word of advice that you've received along this journey? What is the best piece of advice you've received?
Just, take every day and worry about that day. Just when you wake up that morning, just worry about that morning. Don't try to just beat yourself over the head with, just do what you can today to make it better. You don't compare yourself to other moms out there, other homeschooling moms. You have, you got to give yourself I heard this on actually Monday's interview. You got to give yourself the grace to be able to fail and adjust and, keep going. That's huge, not to take it, I remember in the beginning having those days where you're like, man, I messed up today, or man, I thought it would be a lot smoother today and I didn't. But just say, okay, shake it off and do a better job tomorrow. So.
Absolutely. Is there an app, or I know you say you don't do a lot of virtual stuff, but is there an app or online resource that you think, wow, this was a nugget to have found?
Actually, YouTube is a lot, very, very helpful when it comes to that. I know that there were some math problems in 5th grade that I was like, where was I when I was in school? Because I have no idea how to do this. And I mean, honestly, the lessons themselves from this curriculum are very helpful. They break everything down. I don't have to rethink. But then there's things that I don't grasp because I never, I guess, was in school. And but YouTube does help a lot with that. Just to find out, there are some math tutorials and stuff out there that do help you. Even with my littlest, singing songs and just little things like that do help when it comes to a bit better.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is a question I don't normally ask, but I'm just curious. Have you and your children gotten connected to a co-op or some type of group, or is there a need for a socialization type of group that you all have connected to?
I have heard of a lot of them. I have some girlfriends that would come and tell me that they, the ones that they have participated in. Honestly, right now, I will, I, you know, right now we have some other ways that they connect with other, kids, besides church, besides our business team that have a lot of children. They do get socially connected. Maybe that's something that we can maybe tackle next year or maybe even during the summer. But right now, I think we're good.
Sounds good. I always like that. I should incorporate that question because people often wonder, okay, are they getting socialized? What's going on? But when it's three of them
Yeah.
too, I mean, that's lots of socialization, I think.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, all right, but this is
Very
the
cool.
last question, Maralis, the million
Woo.
dollar question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Well, this is going to be so fresh for you because you just have 1 year, finishing up your 1 year. But, if you had to start all over again, back to the first day of schooling, okay, but you have your current wisdom, knowledge, skills, insights, convictions, what would be something that you would be sure to change on day one or implement on day one that you didn't do, back in August or September, whenever you started this school year?
Uh, I think I would, um, again, just not be so, uh, like you were talking about anal in the beginning. I think I was that. I think, just being able to have more flexibility, just learn, hey, just relax and chill, not try to fit everything into one session, one day, one lesson. It's okay. Just pick it up where you left off. Uh, as long as you can make sure that your basic job is to teach them to learn. That's
Mm.
it. You know, you're there to help them. And I didn't get that for myself. I got them for a lot of girlfriends, a lot of people that I've heard. Um, you're teaching them how to learn. And once they get that, it doesn't matter what they're learning. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Good, good, good stuff. All right. Woo! All right. Very good, very good, very good, good. So listen, any last words of advice that you would like to give to these girlfriends, and maybe there's some guy friends too? Three things. Any last words of advice you'd like to share? Two, let us know what you have your hands in, business or anything that you would like to have this village extended out to you as far as the support or what have you. And then third, let tell us how they can get in contact with you if they like to continue this conversation or they want to ask you some questions, pick your brain a little bit more. This is your first year of homeschooling. If you would do those three things.
All right. Uh, what I can tell people out there is that if you do have that nudge about, it's sometimes very, very small. Sometimes you can't even feel it if you're just busy enough. But there is a reason to everything that we're going through. And in the beginning, I felt that nudge and I didn't respond because it wasn't the right timing. There's no way, you're working. How am I going to do it? You feel so overwhelmed with everything else that you think there's no way. I must have, but you didn't think about this by yourself, if that makes sense. So especially when it comes to either big decisions like your children or schooling or things like that, hear that nudge and actually just stop yourself long enough to actually figure it out. Am I supposed to do this? Is homeschooling, is that even an option? Is it me just shutting it down, or is there a possibility? When can I fit it in? When, just hear God, when it comes to that. I don't have the whole answers as far as, why we're homeschooling this year, why we started this year. but I know that it's beneficial, and I listened, and maybe I should have listened a little sooner, but I listened, and it's been great. So just don't ignore that voice. That's all I got to say about that. Me and my husband actually, when we first moved to South Carolina, we met our coach and mentor, Zach Green, and he actually presented us with a business opportunity through the Amway Corporation. So we are business owners of that sort, of that entity. So if you want to reach out to me, you can at www.amway.com/JMR Market. What we sell supplements and daily, just anything. I mean, just it's a great, great natural green resource for you and your family. And lastly, the last question was,
How can they get in contact with you if they like to,
yes,
pick your brain and maybe ask more questions, what have you?
awesome. My Facebook, Maralis Rivera, my Instagram as well, at Maralis Rivera. You can personally email me at moralisrivera@gmail.com, and get in contact with me there as well. And if any way I can help, I'm here. So make myself available to you.
Beautiful. Girlfriends, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. And this
That's
past
right.
hour, you have been hanging out with Maralis Rivera out of South Carolina. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes, yes, yes. So listen, keep up the momentum and continue to connect with positive people and homeschooling families who will bring a positive impact into your life. And then you make sure that you also are that positive resource that others can draw from. Like, so
Yeah.
huge what Maralis said. She's connected to these wonderful homeschoolers who have gone before her that she was able to draw from and get some insights and say, how are you doing this? And can I look at this? And they were just full of positivity to pour onto her. See how that works? Giving and receiving. It's beautiful and it's huge. So keep up the momentum, continue to connect with other positive people who's going to make a great impact in your journey, in your life, and your children's future, perhaps even so. So, Maralis, I just want to say thank you so much for taking this time to share your journey. Has been smooth this first year, so beautiful, and I'm glad to hear it. And thank you again for sharing of your wisdom, your knowledge, your skills, your insights, and just making a positive impact on these homeschooling mamas and daddies who are going to come across your interview. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, and great blessings upon all that you all do in your business and in this homeschooling journey. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor, for sure.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, girlfriends, let me let you know. Listen, go over to the Facebook page at Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. That's an S and then apostrophe. Follow and like that page, because every time I have interviews, which are 3 times a week, you're going to get the notifications, and it may just be the interview you need to hear. I mean, if you're just starting, this is the perfect one to hear. Okay, this is what she did. All right, chill out. Oh, we can get up at 12 o'clock. I mean, start school at 12. I mean, you just never know which one is going to be exactly what you need and what encouragement you're going to receive for them. So go do that. And then go, if you're a YouTuber and not so much on Facebook, go over to YouTube and follow us there. Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. You'll find us there. You'll find us on podcasts at GG2, the number 2, GG, the number 2, H, with Angela J. Perry. I'm on all podcasts, iTunes, Castbox. I can't remember, but any of them, anywhere let me slow down. Anywhere podcasts are found, you will find us. I'm so excited about that. Because I was looking on my favorite iTunes, not iTunes, but podcasts, where I listen to all my podcasts, and I saw myself, and I was just like, I'm here. So very excited about that. And then also find us on Tumblr. Again, it's GG, the number 2, H, with Angela Jordan Perry, and you'll see blog posts and what have you there as well, okay? Instagram, the same, okay? You'll find us there, Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. So thank you so much for joining us, and look for us on our next interview. Listen and replay back what Maralis had to say and share. Very insightful wisdom and nuggets from this newbie homeschooling mama. Just amazing. So you all, thank you for joining. You all have a great day. Be sure to share this with a friend. You never know who's considering homeschooling, need to hear that nudge, listen to that voice, and be prepared to dive in. Okay. All right. Until next time, you all have a blessed one. Thank you again, Maralis.
Bye.
Take
No
care.
problem. Bye-bye.